Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome. We're an hour early today. I have a delivery coming and I set it up thinking all my other deliveries from these guys have been first thing in the morning. I had to change it from yesterday because it was first thing in the morning and nobody was going to be here. And then, so I set it up for today thinking it would come before my live, but it's supposed to arrive at 12:30. So anyways, I pushed it earlier. Hopefully, if you can't make it earlier, you can catch the replay. If you're watching the replay, make sure you say hi. Let me know where you're watching. If you're new here, oh, and I just realized normally I have my phone goes to, it's set automatically to go to not sleep mode, but whatever, quiet mode. From 12 to 1 when I normally do my live, and so I forgot to put it on quiet mode. So hopefully I don't get any texts and calls, otherwise it might, and I think sometimes it interrupts the live. But anyways, we're gonna try and see, hopefully cross fingers works. If you're new here to Stampin' A to Z, this is my live. It's basically a card making tutorial / crafting tutorial. I love to play with different techniques and show you different ways of using products. You by no means need to have the products that I use. You can apply it to anything. So the hope is just to inspire you to pull out your stuff and get crafting. I know it's my happy place. I don't know if it's yours. I would assume that if you are, even if you're just beginning and thinking about it, it is so much fun. It is so relaxing. It's probably not relaxing at first because you're like, what do I do? How do I do this? But just the physical act of creating and like working with your hands and stuff, to me, I find is relaxing. It's my happy place. Anyways, today I'm going to be working with the Nests of Winter suite. And I played with it a little bit in one of my other videos. I think I did one card or something, but I've been really wanting to pull it out ever since I got this month's paper pumpkin, because this month's paper pumpkin coordinates with that suite. So it almost is like making a suite, like super sweet. So I just wanted to try and play and like see how much more I could do or what different stuff I could do. So I've kind of got, I have one card that I've created kind of using the extras of paper pumpkin, but with the suite. And then I've got some using the designer series paper and I love embossing folders for those of you who have watched my videos. And yeah, the other one I just used the suite stuff, but I changed up the colors. So anyways, it's lots of fun to play with. So I was excited to do that. So that's how I chose this week's live. Tomorrow is the last day for some of our sales. The 30% off on our kits is ending tomorrow. The starter kit, that is such a good deal. If you have a long list of, I want a long shopping list, the starter kit is such a great deal. Hi, Yolande. It's on sale for the 135, you get $206 worth of product, no shipping charge and no tax if you live in Alberta. So you get lots and lots of free product. Anyways, so those are ending tomorrow. If they are on your list, make sure you get onto them. I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get started. Try and get this in here without. Someday I'm going to get the technology to just press a button and flip the camera, but for now we're low tech over here. I'm trying every once in a while. Okay, I can make sure I'm on mute here, and I'm going to try and pull up the live so that I can see comments. And voila. Okay, there we go. Oops, this is all Oh, maybe it's my camera that's crooked. Let's see. Well, now I'm even more crooked. That's funny. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'll try that. Sorry, making you seasick. You're a low techer too. Yeah, well, c'est la vie. It's about having fun, right? It's about the crafting. It's not about the technology. So these are some samples that are in the mini catalog. So this is the mini catalog is where you find the nests of winter sweet. So it's a big sweet. It has the designer series paper, which is oh so cute. And I will tell you something I've discovered since playing with it. It has the stamp set. It has the embossing folder, which is like a birch kind of, which I have played with that before. And then the dies, and then your embellishments and twine, linen thread, however you want to call it. I am horrible at adding thread. I'm getting a little bit better at adding embellishments, but the thread part or ribbon, I am not great at doing. So I need to get better at that. Anyways, so that can be found on page 30 and 31 of the mini catalog. Here's the stamp set. It is a cling stamp set, so the red rubber. And then we've got the embellishments, the linen thread, the dies. It's a big die set. You've got like the little sprigs, you've got all the birds and some branches, and then you've got this lovely frame, which we're going to be using, but in a different way today. And then we've got this designer series paper. And so the one thing I've discovered, I don't know, for those of you who have watched, you might know that I have a Brother Scan and Cut. I don't use it that often, but I am a lazy, I don't know about lazy, but I don't love to fussy cut. A lot of it has to do with my hands it hurts my thumbs more than it should. So anyways, I haven't done this one, but I went and I put this one in there. The first one I did, which I was shocked. Sometimes you have to like fuss around with it to get it to read, but because this has like black outline everywhere, this was the first one I stuck into the machine to see if it would scan it and cut it well. And oh my goodness, it cut it awesome. So I have a full sheet of all of these cut out. The pine cones are cut out. The birds are each cut out. You will see I'm going to use some of the birds on my card, but it would do this one as well. I did do this one and it did pretty darn good on most of the birds. The only one I had a bit of issues with was this one where there's openings. You just have to fill it in with pencil, but I didn't do that. I was lazy. And then there's some really cool, which I haven't used yet. It's going to be next on my list. Whoops. Is this one. This one is perfect for either scrapbooking or card making, in that if you cut it into 3 pieces, 4 inches wide, you can get 3 4-inch wide pieces, and then you can cut it at the 5 1/4 or whatever, or you can cut it even smaller and get more pieces out of it, but it makes for perfect card backgrounds. Super cute. So let's get started on our cards. The first card I'm going to do is with the designer series paper and the cutout birds from the designer series paper, because I wanted to show you that, but I'm also using the embossing folder. So here I've cut a piece of the designer series paper. Even this back paper, it's so cute. Like, look at the little birds. Isn't it cute? I love this paper. I was kind of mad at myself. Well, not mad at myself. I have too much designer series paper because I hardly ever use it, and I kind of hoard it. And I'm mad at myself because I just need to use it. I always feel like I have to make a background because it's more fun to make a background, but these are so cute and you can do a lot with it. So anyways, I'm pulling it out and I'm using it because these ones are just cute. So here's some of the birds. This was out of the one sheet, and then these two are out of the other sheet. I did not have to fussy cut them. It just scanned them and cut them, which is great for someone like me. But they are totally, you can totally fussy cut them to your heart's content if you want. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. that was the magic of television. Okay, so before I start working with this part, I'm gonna do, so here we go. I still have to add a background to my background because, you know, what's a background without another background? So I'm gonna pull out my, this is the embossing folder. This is one of the really big ones. It's not hard to hoard DSP paper. Yeah, I know. I watch another demonstrator from the US, and she got some nasty comments because she had used a large piece of gold, and then she'd used this really nice designer series paper but flipped it over, and so that maybe the nice side was covered up, and people were just all over her. And she's like, look, I've got the paper, I'm gonna use it. Like, why wouldn't I use it? It's like, yeah, I just need to use it. I need to stop, like, oh, I need to keep this just in case I need it for something. So anyways, that's my, she inspired me to use it. Oh, I forgot to grab my brayer. One sec. Now that I have my laundry room right next door to me, I tend to leave my stuff in there while it's drying, and then I forget to grab it again. Okay, so I need some gray granite, which I have out here. And then I'm going to, so if you think about like birch trees or aspen trees, they're, watch, I bet you Aspen, my dog is named Aspen. Wondering if she's gonna come running. The smaller parts are the ones that are darker. The large part of the bark is more whitish. So I want to do the darker parts on the little. So if you feel the raised part on the front, which has the Stampin' Up! Logo, is the larger parts. So I don't want to put the color there. I'm going to put the color here, and I'm going to have my embossed piece debossed, I guess. But to me, it makes more sense anyways, the way the tree realistically is. If you don't have a brayer, you could rub your ink, but you have to be very careful because it's soft, right? So if you push too hard, then it goes everywhere. So I find this new brayer is awesome. It's hard and it doesn't like get in the, Jason loves birch trees. Oh, that's good to know. When's his birthday again? I can't remember. I'll have to, hopefully I have it in my calendar. Maybe I'll have to make him some birch trees. Okay, so I've got the gray granite, and it has these nice feet so I don't get it all over my stuff. I should, Yolande, you make me think, Yolande is really good at having, she does all the brayer stuff with her jelly printing, and I know from working with you that you always have your brayer off piece of scrap paper that you end up using to do other beautiful things. I'm just holding this closed. I'm gonna run this through. I'm not gonna bring my big shot over here because it'll just make a mess. So I'm just running it through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine here. And so I ran it through, and then I'm just going to open up so you can see this is the back side. The front side is the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. November. Oh, it's coming up. Why didn't I have that on my radar? Okay, and then you've got, so you could, if you tape it down on the other side, you could do it over and over again if you wanted to get more color. I do have a trick for you though. If you don't want to do that, you could spray your paper, which helps the ink spread. You could do it multiple times, or you can take your blends if you have matching blends, which is why I love Stampin' Up! So much, is because their ink matches their blends, which matches their, so you're not trying to figure everything out. So this is the light one because I don't want to, but that's too light. So then I can take the dark. So you can come in if you want it more solid. You can come in and color, and you can see it's still lighter. But to me, it's better than the white. So you could go through and do like the major white parts. But the other thing I wanted to do was I don't know if you can see, there's these extra lines that didn't get because they're the other way. So what I want to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to, and because the blends blend and they kind of spread, you're not going to get like this harsh line. It'll just kind of bleed into the paper, so you don't have to, it doesn't look like you've just come in and made a line. You can see it just kind of, and I think too, because the paper is a bit broken, the fibers are broken when the embossing folder pushes it through and up. I think it just kind of blends that much better. Hopefully this is bright. I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay, my eyes are getting horrible. Every year when I hit 45, I swear something with my eyes went wonky. They decided that they can't see anymore. And every year after that has not been fun. So I'm just gonna do this big part here. Okay, good enough. Oh, this kind of looks funny. So I half did this one. Let's just, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, just a little bit, because, bark isn't perfect. It's got the whites and the grays and the whatever, probably more black, but I tried doing, actually it was pecan pie in black, and it looked absolutely horrible. I didn't try the gray granite in black, but I really didn't like the black. Like, I did these lines in the lighter black blend, and I just didn't like it. So anyways, this is what I ended up choosing because I feel like it goes best with the designer series paper, which I know I've said it before, but if you're new, you can always find the colors in the designer series paper on the back of the package. It lists all your colors, so it's easier to match if you're working with that. So I'm not going to leave this paper full because obviously I wouldn't be able to see my birch. So what I did was I decided to cut along the edge of the tree here. And I have a little branch here, so I kept my little branch. So I am fussy cutting, but minimal. Okay, so I've got that, and then I was gonna go this way, but then I thought I liked the look on both sides, so I ended up cutting on this side too. And then so you got the little branches coming out. So this way it's kind of like original background with even though you haven't made this part yourself. I don't know why I have this thing that I want to make it myself. Otherwise it doesn't feel like it's mine, or I don't know. Anyways, I'm just going to glue this. I'm using liquid glue because I'm putting it on top of an embossed surface. So it just helps to grab the parts that it actually grabs onto. Less of that, more of the other. And it gives you a bit of wiggle room. My paper is not quite as long as my, might have to trim the white piece, but for now we're okay. You could pop it up, but I would think you'd want to put it on another piece of cardstock if you were gonna pop it up. Old eyes. Presbyopia. Does that mean old eyes, or what does that mean? But I don't think 45 is old. Like, that's the thing. It's now like you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's because you're old. And it's like, how? I didn't think that, you know, if people live till, I don't know, like, even if you live till 80, like, I guess you're just past the halfway point, but it shouldn't be like old. I don't know. Anyways, I have felt old since I was about 18. So, you know, it's pretty sad when you are in your 40s and you mimic your 80-year-old father, but you know, it is what it is. It's my normal. Even though some days it sucks, it's my normal. That's all I know. So I stamped and used the white embossing powder with the stamp from, oh, I never pulled out the paper pumpkin to show you. I will pull it out when I use it on my card. This is the Thinking of You. And then I used the Stylish Shapes dies, which are these ones. And so I cut it out and then I just snipped off the edge to have a straight edge. And then I'm just gonna pop it up down here. Starts at 40. Oh, wow. Eyes aren't meant to last, are they? See, oops. Yolande knows this stuff because she's a optometrist, or was an optometrist. Now she's an expert jelly printing guru, which I so want to start doing. I just finding the time to do other things. And then I was watching a YouTube video this morning. It popped up and it was like an organizational video. Of course they get you on those, right? Like those all pop up because obviously I'm always interested in organizing, but it was a sewing one, and I do like to sew. My sewing machine is away. I don't have like a regular spot for my sewing machine. God, I can't imagine. I would need like 10 rooms if I wanted something for everything. I just want to be careful where because I think I might, I guess I can't overlap. I probably need to go underneath. Anyways, it was it was her cottage, but I think it was her full-time residence. She's right on Lake Michigan or something. So her cottage is right along the edge of the water with these big windows. Oh my God. Anyways, but it wasn't even the room that inspired me. It was the sewing, and she was making a tote. And on it, because I watched another video, because you know I was curious what she actually did to have this beautiful room, and it made me want to sew. Okay, let's see. I think he should be kind of upright, not down. And I know I'm off the card there. I'm gonna cut a little bit of his bum. And then I'm gonna put dimensionals on here. Oops, that was a bit more. Oh, I'm not supposed to say what you did? What about what you do now? Is that okay? Okay, no more information. Too much information. Anyways, yeah, now I want to sew. And actually it started to, a friend of mine makes quilts, and a friend of mine had a baby, and so I asked her if she would make a quilt for her, because she puts like the names on. It's all personalized and everything. So they're super cute. I'm not going to stick this down hard yet because I want to put this guy and see where he fits. But it just made me want to pull out. I actually made, pre-kids, I was actually starting to quilt. I had a beautiful embroidery machine that was my wedding present. My friends thought it was so wrong of my husband to give me a sewing machine, but I wanted one, and it was a really nice one. So call me old-fashioned, but I enjoyed sewing. And actually for my kids, well, before I had them, I guess, I made a couple of baby quilts, and I haven't made any since I had kids. They kept me too busy. I have a bit of room off the top on the card, so I'm going to put that there. I was trying to hide I missed hiding this guy, but that's okay. We'll just kind of get him centered, and then we've got, okay, then we'll push them down. So we've got our little birds. Yeah, I made the kids Halloween costumes. Andrew was really into it. I made him some pretty, my most elaborate Halloween costume that I made was, is it Hedwig, the owl from Harry Potter? Oh my God, that thing almost killed me. It had, I can't remember how many feathers I had to sew. It was a lot of feathers, but he always appreciated a homemade I hated buying those cheap, gross costumes. But then when they go on, like so Disney had beautiful costumes for a while. And if you bought them after Halloween when they were on sale, like I had a cute Nemo and whatever, and the cost of fabrics got so expensive, I just kind of stopped making that. And Owen never really wanted, he always wanted the cheap, like Star Wars or whatever the cool thing of the day-wise. So anyways, this is my first card. So yeah, I made Crush the turtle to go with Nemo. It was cute, and I used the embroidery to make the eye and I think part of the shell. Anyways, I had fun. I do like to sew. Oops, I forgot my embellishments. See? I'm not good talking away because now I'm talking about sewing. Do you sew, Yolande? Or is that just, I'm the last of the, I guess my friend sews, so I'm not the only one. It is, I feel like it's a dying art, but the fabric is just so crazy expensive. That's my biggest issue with it all. So anyways, I put some of the embellishments on there. They don't quite match. They're more I think either these are ivory or maybe they go with the basic beige, but it still looks cute. Okay, that's card number 1. Card number 2. So I told you I was using this frame, but I'm going to use the inside of it instead of the outside of it, if that makes sense. And I cut out the frame on some Yupo paper just so that it's more reusable, but you can totally do it on cardstock. It does the same thing. It just won't last as long. So that's okay. So I've got a piece, I cut out a piece of basic white with the perennial postage dies. You can barely sew button. Yeah, I don't do a lot of the fixes. I had pants sitting waiting to be hemmed forever and ever, and I don't like the fix-it sewing. I like the fun sewing. Again, the creative stuff, not the I have to do this because it needs to get done. But it's funny because my oldest took home ec all through junior high. He really liked to cook. And so he always got the cooking awards, but they did do sewing, but it was like, it turned them off of sewing. They just never did anything. I think he made, I can't remember, he did make one thing that he wore. Maybe pajama pants or something. That would be a good thing for kids to make these days because they seem to, they wear them everywhere. Like, it's not even a pajama thing anymore. I was by my youngest, he said he didn't have any other clothes, even though I had just done most of the laundry. He was wearing pajama pants to school, and I was like, oh, well, I guess they can't have pajama days anymore because you guys just wear your pajamas all the time. And my middle one, he came home, he was home for a week, and he said he needed pants. So we went shopping for pants. He couldn't find, he's very picky. Couldn't find any he liked. So he's like, oh, and just so you know, when we went shopping, he was wearing his pajama pants with the university crest or whatever. Like, they sell, like, that's what these guys wear all the time. And so he's just like, I'm just gonna go buy every color of these university plaid pajama pants. Like, you know, you can't work like that. Like, his first co-op job, he was working at the university, so it was fine. But you can't work at a job. My hands are going to get messy. And that's the one thing with the Yupo paper, because it doesn't soak in. It is a bit messier to work with, especially when you're working with the inside piece. So if I were to use the outside piece, I could color the center and leave the outside white. But this one, I'm doing kind of a frame on the outside. So now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to go again. So I'm just kind of lining it up. And I just have a piece of tape behind to hold it. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a darker version of the second part. And then you kind of have two sets of leaves, right? And then you get to do the ta-da moment that I always love. You pull something off. But you know, I just thought of this, Ilona. You could, I wonder if I pulled out the jelly plate and put ink on and had this down, it would probably be way easier than ink blending. I should try that. I have an idea. I need to write it down so I do not forget. Not only have the eyes gone, the brain is gone too. The brain was never good to begin with. I've always, from very young, not very, well, again, like 18, 20, my memory sucked. I remember I had to reduce my course load and sleep more. I know it's part of whatever, the chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, but the brain fog is real and it gets worse with age. So even though I've had it, I think I'm that much worse off because it was so bad to begin with. Okay, we'll clean this up so we don't get it on, and I'm gonna try and wipe my fingers. And then I'm gonna get the messy again because I still haven't pulled this off. And do the ta-da, ta-da. Isn't that pretty? And you kind of have a nice frame of leaves. Okay, put this over here. Okay, it was a bit crooked, but that's okay. And then, so I'm going to set this aside for now. This is something we did. So we had a craft, I can't even remember what it was called. We did some crafting with Stampin' Up! For an event for, I believe it was for demonstrators. And we were able to get this suite early, long before the mini was released. And so, excuse me, we made 3 cards and then I set them aside and I didn't touch the suite again after that because it hadn't been released yet. But one of the cards we did, they had us stamp directly onto colored cardstock instead of white. So I'm just using my Memento and I'm going to, and you're probably wondering why this one is photopolymer. It is because it is from the Paper Pumpkin set of this. Hang on, let me. So the stamp set that came in the Paper Pumpkin had this cardinal and a branch, and then it had more of the Christmassy greetings, but all kind of the same writing, same, like it's all meant to go together. So I thought it was kind of cool. I really like this cardinal, but because it's part of the Paper Pumpkin, it doesn't have a die that goes with. So I have to fussy cut. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I've got the bird stamped, and then you're probably like, well, how are you supposed to color that? You could use blends, but your other option, which I never thought of until Stampin' Up! Did this, is you can use your watercolor crayons, or you could use pastels, or whatever kind of sits on top. I tried with the Real Red, and I've never really tested how well these match our colors, but they are made for Stampin' Up! with our colors. This one is Cherry Cobbler. The Real Red on Real Red looked orangey to me. It does tend to come up lighter, but it kind of sits, so I'm not planning on watercoloring. I'm just using this as a way to add some color. A little bit of depth and dimension to my bird instead of just a flat area. Okay, and then his tail. So I don't know if you can see that. The more you kind of go over it, the more it adds. Can you see that in the video? Oh, I don't know. You can see that it's a little bit textured, and then I'm going to add orange, or it's pumpkin pie, I guess, to his beak, and then a bit of pecan pie to his feet. So it's subtle, but you can see he looks like he has, she, I don't know. And then you're gonna wanna fussy cut it. And then I wanted a branch for him because he's floating in midair. So I wanted a branch. So what I did, I guess I have to fussy cut him first for you to see. Where's my scissors? I lost my scissors. Oh no. Oh, okay, they got moved. Okay, and this guy is super easy to fussy cut. Very simple. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, I always forget and sit back, and then I'm probably off camera when I'm cutting. Okay. So then you've got, oh yes, yes, it would work because you've got a black outline. So I could totally stamp a bunch of, that's where the Brother Scan and Cut comes in real handy, is you can stamp to your heart's content. Again, I would have issues right at the hair where there's openings. So I just have to fill those in with pencil and then erase them. But yes, I could do that. So now I wanted to put my bird on and I kind of thought the branch looked cool, but I needed to adjust and hide this bird. So sorry, bird, you are going away. And then, let's see. So then he's hidden like that on the branch. So then I just have to put some glue on my guy here. And figure out where he sits best. Oops. And then you can do the same thing, which I probably should have done before. You can add a bit of pecan pie to the branch here. And then I added white berries. And then there's my yeah, he's been chopped. Then I've got my bird. Now I'm going to show you the one I did. I used the stamp from the paper pumpkin, and I used this beautiful label. Is from the Christmas labels dies. There's only 4 labels, and they all cut like with a cool kind of frame to them. And it just happened to fit perfectly for that sentiment. But I wanted to show you, if you don't have the paper pumpkin and you only have this stamp set or suite or whatever, you could use the sending thanks, because you know, you might not want, maybe you don't want Christmas. And oh, I don't have, hang on, I need a piece of paper. And then you can just stamp it with black, like I did this one. And then this, the hexagon punch, works well to fit that. So you could, if you don't have those dies or you don't have the paper pumpkin stamp set, you could totally use this one and sit him on there if you didn't have this as your option here. And then I just used a Mossy Meadow card base, and then you've got your card. Yeah, isn't it a cool label? And it just kind of, I stuck it straight down. I popped the bird up, and then I popped the middle part out, and then this part just kind of 3Ds up because of when you pull it out of the die. So I thought that was cool. Anyways, that is card number 2. Then for the 3rd card, this is where the paper pumpkin comes into play, which, oops, oh great. You could totally make so many cards with just the designer series paper alone. I was like bouncing around trying to decide what I was gonna do, but I really wanted to play with the paper pumpkin. So I pulled that out. I think I've already showed the paper pumpkin. It has these beautiful envelopes, which you could use as envelopes, or I've seen people cut them up and turn them into beautiful cards. Also, it has the card bases. It has some, it has some pre-die cut birds. It comes with the shaded spruce. But it has these birds and sprigs, and it has the cardinal there. It's a cardinal, right? I think it's a cardinal. Hopefully I am not talking on my arse, but you know. Okay, and then the stamp set that you've already seen. This, I used the birds from the Sweet stamp set. So these ones, I have stamped and die cut them. And then I think I was gonna stamp it and do the magic of television, but I didn't. There is another piece to all of this. For those of you that do paper pumpkin, they, every 3 months, they release dies that go with 3 months worth of paper pumpkin, and there's 3 dies, and they go, there's 1 per month that is meant to go with. So Mary is the one for this month, and then there's a tag, and then there's a leaf, and they don't tell you which goes with which when kind of thing. You'll just know when you get your paper pumpkin which one goes with which, but it's kind of cool that it has the tag. So then this is one of the card bases, and this month it was a 3, like it folds into 3, but I really liked this piece, and I didn't feel like it needed, like it gets, here I'll show you, it gets lost. So again, when you pull pieces out like this, you can use this for another card. Don't toss it. So it's meant to go like this and make a card this way. And it looks cool. It looks great. But I had another idea. So I took a piece of that and oops, I forgot to grab the other. So the other card base that this paper pumpkin comes with is this pool party one with this window. So again, you're meant to pop this out. It's nice that they include the pieces that are still there. So this turns into, again, a folded window card. But I wanted to use this window. So I'm going to use this piece from this card base. And I'm going to use this piece from this card base. But I need to cut it, which I forgot to do ahead of time. If I can get the trimmer. Oh, oops. And of course it's got, I had my drink sitting on it because I didn't want the water on my desk. Now it's got water on it. Okay, I'm going to lose everything. I just know it. So in order for this to fold properly, you can, I don't know if you can see, it's actually not quite 4 1/4 wide. It's like 4 1/8, I want to say. Yep. Maybe even more. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to go down to 1/8. I probably should have cut the whole thing and then, because now that's going to leave a funny place, but that's okay. And then I'm going to cut, so I feel like this side is shorter than this side in terms of the decor. So I feel like it's better to cut off this side, and so I'm going to cut that down 1/8 of an inch as well. Now that, it looks pretty even to me. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so then I've got my background. I've got my window. Doesn't that look, so, I don't know if you can see the shine, but I think that just looks so pretty together. And then I need to color, so I decided to, I wanted a different color, oops, combo, than what I has kind of part of the suite, which has the gray granites and the, you know, the chrome, like the browns and the grays and the reds and the greens. So because this had the Night of Navy and this is shaded spruce, which kind of, it goes well with pool party. or Coastal Cabana or what. It's kind of the greeny, it has a bit of blue to it. So I went with that, and we don't have Coastal Cabana blends, but we have Pool Party. So I decided to color my birds with the Pool Party. So we're going light. And then his wings. His, why do I always say his? Maybe it's a her. Can't assume it's a him. And we'll have a bit of blue there. Oh, I guess I need, hang on. I like to add the dark while it's fresh and wet, because then it blends in better and I don't have to go over it again. But if you don't do it right away, you can do it after. But this way I have less chance of needing to blend it out, kind of thing. So I will do him now. Her. I did it again. Him, her. I should keep an eye on the clock. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to color this whole thing, or I'm going to run out of time here. You get the idea. But anyway, so I used, and then I went in with the daffodil, and then I cut the Mary with the die cut from the extras for Paper Pumpkin. And then I used the Christmas from the stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin. So this is all pretty much Paper Pumpkin except for the birds. And then this is the card. So I ended up using Berry Burst to do the berries with the Pool Party, and I added a bit of Night of Navy to the wings. I used Night of Navy for the stamping and the Mary to match the Night of Navy in the background. And I just think it is super, super sweet. You wouldn't even need the Merry Christmas. You could use the Sending Thanks would be a good one. And Much Love for like a wintry scene. But I just thought it was cute and I really like the color combo. So anyways, that's card number 3. So you can see there's just like endless possibilities with this suite because of the extra Paper Pumpkin on top of everything else. So if you're curious about the actual cards you make with Paper Pumpkin, these are the cards that you're supposed to make. So there's 4 of each, so 8 total, but you can totally make more. So again, here's the first one. It was using the Designer Series paper, and then the Cardinal with the stencil background, and then the primarily Paper Pumpkin card. Anyways, those are my cards for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live. I should be live next Wednesday. I didn't look at the dates, but I don't see why I wouldn't. Hopefully, I totally waffled about doing something for Halloween because Halloween is tomorrow. I still haven't even decorated outside. I need to do that this afternoon. So I did finally go buy Halloween candy. Something that ends tomorrow. Yes, there's 2 things that end tomorrow. One is our kit sale. So all the kits, not Paper Pumpkin kits, but the other kits, they are up to 30% off until tomorrow. So if you go onto my store, you can go under kit collection and it'll show you all the kits that are available that are on sale. Actually I did a video that shows a bunch of the kits if you're wanting to see them closer up. And then the other thing that's ending tomorrow is our starter kit. So the starter kit right now, it's the usual $135, which it always is. And normally you would get $165 worth of product, but till tomorrow you get an extra $41. So $206 worth of product you get to choose. Free shipping, free, no GST. So basically you're getting $206 worth of just product. You can buy sales stuff with that. You can also get your hands on the online exclusives that are available right now that are going to be available November 5th for customers. So if you want to get them before they go out of stock, I did show a bunch of them last week, but if you want to see them, let me know and I'm not sure how to let you do that. You should, I'll check. I think you do, but I will check and let you know. Anyways, so that ends tomorrow. So that is all I got. I'll have to figure out if you have any wants to see something. Also, you can always ask for techniques, or if you want to see certain products. I don't have everything, but I can always try and show you if I have the stuff. So have a great rest of your week. Have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.